Excited to be here tonight and be on this Slay Squad with all of you. My name's Kim Fitzpatrick. So for those of you that do not know me, I am a mom of two. I'm a dog mom. I am married to Jamie, who is also another coach in the network. And honestly, I also just want to say that I am a human alongside of you, living a very human experience. And tonight we're going to talk about human connection. Yeah, Jackie, I can't mute everybody because Lauren's on it. So Lauren is the host. She's going to mute everybody as we jump on because I can't multitask and do two things at once, or this won't be a very productive call. So Lauren's on it. So we are going to talk tonight about human connection. We're going to talk about leadership, and we're going to talk about contribution. And I don't know whether or not that is something that is on any of your hearts, but it's certainly been on mine. We literally have been in a crazy whirlwind of a world for the last 3 years, right? And beyond before, but really for the last 3 years. And, I think now more than ever, it is really important to be talking about human connection, because that is what we do. That is the root of this business. That is why I think a lot of us started in this business, is to make impact, build connection, build community, and absolutely as well build income, which is totally plausible with this incredible business model and this business and this company. So I want to talk first of all, I like to call myself a professional disturber, right? I am going to absolutely be having some truth love in this conversation, to coin my girl Julie Boris. So I first want to ask for your permission that I can speak freely. I want to ask you that this is okay, that I speak from my heart and I speak my truth, and I get a little feisty, and I get hot, I start sweating, but that's because I really love this network, and I love the potential of this network, and I see the potential in all of us. And I think that sometimes I believe that I'm put here on this earth to shake you up a little bit. I really believe that. I believe that I was put here on this earth to shake people up. And I am constantly being shook and shaken every freaking day. So I hope that you are engaging in this conversation and what I'm about to share, because it could change your business. It could change what you need to hear, and it could change the trajectory of your life if you are engaged and you're listening. So I just wanted to ask your permission first. So that granted, that's awesome. I am a person that loves energy. So I am loving the nodding that's happening right now. I really appreciate that, because, I'm just going to tell you that I wrote a lot of notes for today. Okay. I have freaking prepared for this. So I would love if you guys are invested in me for the next 27 minutes. Can we do that? And if you know me, it might be a little longer, but I need room. I got to get ready for this. So first of all, I am a huge fan of Robin Sharma. I'm a huge fan of Brendan Bouchard. I'm a huge fan of Wayne Dyer. I will say that I think that they raised me. So a lot of the things that I say right now, and you'll hear from me, are not my ideas. Just like you being able to speak and share your truth in your life and in your business and in your experience, I learned from these people. So a lot of the things you're going to hear from me today are from them. And I'm excited to just get gritty with you guys. So I want to ask a first question. How many of you are afraid of success in this business or building a big team because you think you can't support other people? And maybe you're actually afraid of what might happen when you have all these women or men that, okay, Christine's like, that's a high 10. That's a high 10 right here. Okay, Annabelle is like, yes. Okay. So I want to talk about this today, guys, because this is so important to your ability to connect yourself as a human and take your ego out of this. Okay. Wayne Dyer says this. Again, I'm like, I don't know whether you're spiritual or not. I love you all. they're not saying that, but this is what he says. He says, ego is edging God out. Ego is edging God out. It's edging the light out. It's edging the knowing out. It's edging universe out. It's edging out everything that you know. And every single time we allow our ego to get in the way, we are edging it out. And you are edging out the people that are waiting to partner with you, because your ego is what is in the way right now of your success. It is in the way of your success. And I want to tell you that when you get to help other people when you help yourself get better, you help other people get better. And so often we are afraid of success and we sabotage ourselves. We sabotage where we want to go. We sabotage our nutrition. We sabotage our thoughts. We sabotage our mindset, right? We sabotage so many things. And I want to tell you that, guys, human connection and relationships start with you. You are the person that is in the longest relationship in the world is with you. And how you show up and how you govern your energy and how you govern your confidence and how you govern your competence is literally what you will attract in this business. And I love this quote. Dr. Sarah Sarkis, freaking love her, have to bring her name up. Jamie's gonna laugh. But I saw this quote on her Instagram yesterday. The degree to which a person can grow is in direct proportion to the amount of truth they can accept about themselves without running away. The degree to which a person can grow is in the direct proportion to the amount of truth they can accept about themselves without running away. So a lot of us run away from success. A lot of us run away from this business. A lot of us run away from asking for advice from our upline. A lot of us run away from engaging in our team page. A lot of us run away from being a human, living a human experience alongside each other because we're afraid of being judged. We are afraid of not being enough. We are afraid of dropping that rank. Can we just move ranks away? Can we just sorry, I don't give a shit what rank you are. I care about how you are as a human. I care about how you're showing up for you. I care about how you're leading, because that is a direct proportion to your growth. And watch what happens with rank when you start actually caring about yourself. But we get so worried. We get so caught up. I want to remind you of that, to be a professional disturber of your own journey. Because right now where you're sitting is not the version of you that's required for where you're going to be in 5 years. We need to put the human back into this business. We need to put connection back into this business. We need to put vulnerability back into this business and taking radical ownership of where we want to go so that we can shake up those cozy comfort zone bubbles. And I hope we break through some of that tonight. I hope we break through some of those cozy freaking comfort bubbles, okay? So I want to give us permission to do that. So we talked about how many of you are more afraid of success because you think you can't support others. And we're going to talk about this. Bob Heilig, he's presenting at Summit. I just saw this on his Instagram. It was powerful. And of course, oh yeah, before and after photos are great. But what you don't see is the gap between where they were before and where they are now after. Here's a little secret. Sell the gap. That's what people buy. The people buy the freaking transformation. People buy the things that are in the middle of your before and after that is messy and unapologetic and imperfect. And that is the base of this. This is the messy middle. And human connection is imperfect action. And I also want to say that personal equals universal. Personal equals universal. So the more personal you are, the more universal you are. I strive to be personal every day, because if I'm personal, then that means I'm universal, which means that someone can look at me and say, well, my goodness, if she's gone through what she's gone through in her life, that I don't wish on anyone, but she's still here smiling, and she's still here working, and she's still dragging herself out of her heavy weighted blanket some days, then I can do that too. Then I can do that too. And our job as coaches is to be a freaking beacon and a lighthouse to say, I don't need to have this all figured out. I don't need to be freaking perfect. Nobody cares about perfection. They care about what you're doing in the freaking middle. And they care about being the light and how you freaking do that. So I want to remind you first, getting to my notes. People like tape them on my computer here. You aren't meant to build anyone's business for them. So to take you back up to the first part where you're so afraid of a success because you think you can't support others, that's not your job in this business. Our job is to be a guide. Our job is to be a connector. Our job is to be a leader. It's to be someone that loves people up, to be in conversation, and to connect as a human. How someone shows up in their own essence is up to them. I remember in January of 2018, I had a messy, messy year in 2017. And I had a team call. It was January 5th of 2018. And I got on and I apologized. And I said, I'm really sorry for how I showed up as a leader, because I was unclear in my own goals and what I wanted in this life and how I wanted to show up as a leader. But here's my clarity in 2018. I'm not going to pull anybody in this business. I'm not going to want this business more for you than you want it for yourself. And I'm not going to be a holder of the excuses of why this can't be a priority for you. I'm not an employer, and I'm not your boss. And the more you give that away, the more you give that power and you volley that back, the more you will start to see some ease and flow, because you can't control the actions of other people. But you can model how you want to act as a leader, and you can determine that. You can determine that. So everyone can act as a leader, and the way that you do that is up to you. I want you to think about the most impactful people that you look up to, okay, guys? I want you to think about the characteristics of leaders, okay? Any leader. It can be thought leaders. It can be people that you love following. I want you to think about how they model. I want you to write in the chat the characteristics of people you admire. What are they? What are the characteristics of people that you admire? The leaders you admire. I want to know: strong, confident, self-disciplined, vulnerable, outgoing, unbothered, steadfast, realness. These are amazing. Honest, kind, hustle queen, vibrant. Guys, these are so freaking powerful. Resilient, determined, happy, alive, humble, honest, no fear, strong-headed, bold, leads from the front, sweet, abundant, yes, integrity, energetic. Okay, guys, here's the thing. There are these lists that you are pouring out of these other people that you see. In order to be the leader in order to be a leader that attracts other leaders, you need to start showing up with these characteristics right now, today, before you're ready. You need to show up as the version of you that you're chasing right now, today. And I want you to write those down. I want you to write down the characteristics of the leaders that you want to work with on this team. And may I add, that you want to have as clients. I want to work with empowered women that are not just continuously sabotaging themselves because they have no self-love. I will absolutely work with my clients that are working on that. But we are not life coaches. We are not licensed therapists. We are not doctors. We are built to build community. We are meant to empower women that want to rise. Guys, I have 49 of my diamond coaches were built from my client community. And 49 of them wanted nothing to do with coaching, but they built themselves first. They were striving to be her right freaking now in messy, imperfect action. And you know why? It's because I gave them permission to do that. Every single freaking day in my client group, I give them permission to be imperfect and that things are data and we're going to figure that out. And I want to remind you of that who needs to hear this today? Being a leader doesn't mean you have to be perfect. If you can breathe, you're a leader, period. So stop benching yourself. Stop it. You are benching yourself, and that's not what the world freaking needs. That's not what your potential freaking needs. And that's not what the future version of you needs. So let's step into that, because that is how this business is built. This business is built on levels of inspired, intentional action, period. I do my bat just like you do, guys. Every day. I had so much anxiety today because I really played hard with my family this weekend, which I loved every minute of, and I needed to restore my energy. But I will tell you, those unread messages gave me anxiety. I was like, I need to go message them back. And I was like so stressed out. And I realized today that honestly, that was such a load of shit. Nobody was waiting for my freaking email. Nobody, they were, but they were not. And we put so much pressure on ourselves, right? We're failing, we're this. Guys, the more you live your life with intention and passion, the more you show up in that. So people are waiting for you, and yes, you need to go do your business, but I want to remind you that you are very important, but you're not as important as you think you are. And we think that the world revolves around us and that we're failing when we don't do all those things. But what if instead you're like, I've just refilled my cup so hard that I can work so hard today and serve these women or men that are ready to do this so much better. So I want to remind you, as a leader, you need to live by your principles of your own personal mission. You got to figure that out. You got to figure out why you're here. You got to figure out what does, connecting as a leader and connecting and building contribution look like for you right now. You need to figure that out, because the voice in our head is fierce and loud. But what do you determine your success as? Nobody can determine that for you. No one. So what does that look like for you? Because I'll tell you something. If you're not clear on that, you're probably not attracting people that know what they want in their lives. Like wanting to build a second, third, or fourth income, that want to build residual income, that want to make impact, that want to contribute, that want to build community. But the more you don't know that, the more cloudy you are as a leader. So the clarity that is required is the clarity and the inner work that you decide to do. And the more you run from your inside work, the more your outer world doesn't feel aligned. How many of you, when you are like so committed to keeping the promises you make to yourself, and you are like going to bed on time? Oh gosh, guys, since Jamie's heart attack, like this has been the hardest thing for me, is going to bed, because for a year I had flashbacks. So I would stay up working, and then I couldn't get up in the morning because I was tired. And then my kids were waking me up and I was miserable. And it was a cycle. And until I started to realize I'm the only one that I healed and I'm good now, and I don't have PTSD. I'm like very healed now. So I can I've walked through that experience. So now I need to retrain myself. So what do you need to retrain yourself in right now? And I'll ask you, what are you hiding that you can actually share with people that would connect you as a human? Because I've been saying the same freaking thing for 3 years, that I'm working on my morning routine and my evening routine. And you know what I have now? People that are like, hey, it's after 10, you liar, go to bed. And I'm developing these communities that are allowing people to call me out because I've asked for their help, just like they're asking for mine. And that's building community. That is being a human. That is sharing and showing up on social media like the version of you are. And that is community. Call me out if you see my little emoji at 10. Guys, I have poured so hard into my leaders, and we have shared tears together because we all need help. What's the one thing you're hiding from right now? What's the one thing you feel you're failing at? What's the one thing you're running away from? Gosh, that's what you need to dig deep on. That's what you need to buckle down on. That's what you need to model. I want to remind you of this. I want to remember that what you're creating right now is human connection. And human connection is formed through freaking leadership. And leadership is formed by you being yourself. Because we can curse the darkness. We can curse the things that are awful in our lives. We can curse the things that we think happen to us, or we can ask, what's the gift here? What's the lesson here? What can I share here? You can really reach more people by knowing that you have the power and the choice to bring light and connection. And every single time you point a finger, can you guys point a finger at the screen right now? Everyone point your finger. There are 3 fingers pointing back at you. 3. Oh, it's your fault. How many times I told Jamie that? And he's like, now he says that trick to me. Your 3 fingers pointing back at you. It's on you, right? I want to remind you of that. So reassign your power, because your life is a mirror, and you get to greatness when you stop wishing for life to be easier and you instead get committed to getting better personally. So stop wishing for your life to be easier, because there is no successful person that has gotten there without hustle, and that has gotten there without figuring it out and without crying through things. But you are not alone in this. And I want to remind you of that. You can connect. When you connect on a human level, then you're giving other people permission to do this as well. You're giving other people permission to do this as well. The more you can be real, the more you can be relatable, the more you can be a resource, the more people say, I need that in my life. I need to have more of that in my life. You know, one of the things for me that I take really great pride in is when someone says, oh my God, you are the exact same version of you on your stories and on social media as you are in real life. How many of you are acting? How many of you have a sing-song top voice? Everything's perfect, right? And your whole, the whole boat's flooding. The whole boat's flooding. And you're like, it is fine. You're just like going through that. If you are acting, that isn't being real. That isn't being the authentic version of you. And that doesn't mean that you need to be, oh, woe is me, this is so hard. But what I would encourage you and I'd offer you to think is, what are the solutions I have from coaching? How has coaching helped you save parts of you in your life? I'll tell you right now, coaching helped me save my life. Coaching helped me save my husband's life. For 8 minutes, I did CPR on Jamie. I was right here, guys, at this very location when my daughter came down and she said, something's wrong with Dad. And I went up, and for 8 minutes, I gave him CPR. And I wasn't going to stop giving him CPR. Why would I stop giving him CPR? Because my shoulders were hurting, or I was scared, or I didn't know the outcome. I knew that I could do something. So I'm going to do that. And I want to encourage you to think about this. What is 1%? I have the 6% on my arm. Jamie has it too. He has a 6% survival chance of living. He has a 6% chance he's here. And he has a 1% chance that he's here without brain damage. And I think this all the time. What if I had just not rushed or not done those things or not, and I want to parallel that to your life, whatever you've got. What if you just give 1% more? What if you give 6% more? What if I hadn't been strong enough to lift him over like a freaking canoe? Like flipped him right over like a portage. Like, what if I didn't have the strength to do that? What if I didn't have the mental fortitude from the meditation I'd done, knowing that I couldn't lose it because my daughter was watching everything I was doing? What if I had to go back to work instead of sitting beside my husband because I had worked my ass off to replace my corporate income? And I still do that to this day because I don't have a plan B. Are you willing to work that freaking hard? Are you willing to work that hard for connection, to save your life, to save your family's future? Are you willing to work that hard? And you do not need to have to be in a situation that I was in to give CPR to something in your life. Because you could be giving CPR to you. You could be giving big breaths. I know that you might be in the mess of motherhood. I get it. And the older they get, the heavier the problems. I'll never forget being able to see my kids for 30 minutes a day when I worked for someone else. And that was my motivation. What's your motivation? What's your why? Because that will have you freaking doing your invites you keep putting off because you feel uncomfortable. What about the other people's lives that you're going to save when you stop being so selfish and you stop being so insecure that you don't have enough to offer? You told me I could give you truth, so I love you. I was said with love, right? You can show leadership no matter what rank you are, position, or length of coaching. How hard do you play when no one's watching you? How hard do you play when no one's watching you? How hard do you work? I got to be honest with you. If one more person tells me I've exhausted all my options and I'm at SC0, I'm going to tell you to go back to the drawing board because you haven't exhausted all your options. That's impossible. No, you have not. So your team and the conversations you're having and the clients you're connecting, like, here's the catch, guys. The more you engage in your team page, the more you engage in your social, the more you engage in being someone that is a light and you are giving so much love, the more you'll get that back. The more you'll get that back. We can honestly lose the power of human connection so easily. We're on a Zoom right now, right? Like, this is a Zoom. We have lived in Zooms, right? With the option to turn our cameras off, with the option to be disengaged. So I want to ask you, how engaged are you in your client group? Do they see you live every day? Are you excited to go in there, or is it a burden? Because if your client community is a burden, that's where I suggest you start. Because that is the bread and the butter and the life of your business. In order to attract and have people that want to come be a part of something that you are building and creating, there's got to be a pulse there. There's got to be a pulse in your group. And more importantly, as a coach and a leader, you have to have the pulse of your group. You have to know what they need to hear. And you have to be able to show up with that awake vulnerability. Danielle Laporte has this beautiful analogy. So she has what's called awake vulnerability and naive vulnerability. And naive vulnerability is like, I'm going to show up. Everyone's going to love me. Everything I say has value. This is amazing. I'm amazing. And we kind of lose ourselves because we're so busy being so interesting that we forgot to be interested in what people really need. And awake vulnerability is connection. This is human connection where you say, I'm going to show up. Not everyone's going to like what I have to say. Not everyone's going to love me. It's not going to resonate with everybody, but it's true to my heart. And it's in line with my mission. And it's in line with my vision. And it's in line with my values. And it's how I show up in my client group. And it's how I lead in my team page. And even if you don't have a team and you're not showing up in your team page and you're a silent bystander, I'm not surprised you can't build a team. That's said with love. Go get engaged. Go be engaged. Volunteer for things. Get me in the ring. I want to go live. I need to learn. I know you're busy. Life is busy. But if you're not putting yourself on the edge of your seat to get yourself in the freaking game, you will not have the confidence to go on your stories and say, you need to join me in this business because these are the waves and the freaking places that we're going, and who's coming with me? Because I follow energy. I follow conviction. I follow people that are like a hell yes energy. And if you're a little lukewarm, I'm going to love you up. But I don't know what I'm going to just keep on loving you. Like, I love you, but like, if you're lukewarm in this, I can't make you hot. You get to produce that. You get to be the one that chooses that. Yet we blame so many other people for our lack of success in this business and take zero ownership on our own stuff. Leadership is taking freaking ownership, guys. It's not being Olaf who's melting by the fire. Like, go be Olaf in the frozen cloud. Like, what are you doing? How are you being present? Oh my gosh, I don't even know where that analogy came from, but I'm going to go with it. Okay, so here's the catch. You have to engage. You have to engage. Don't be Olaf melting by the fire. Like, his nose was sliding off, his arms were gone. Like, get back in the freaking ring. Get back in the ring. Like, put your storm cloud over you and be like, I've got this. We got this. We've got to be the ones where we create a culture to be a human ourselves. And you have to be confident in that. And the more you can be your own version of the human that you believe in, and you're going to show up with, like, there is autonomy in that. There is love in that. But I'll tell you, I can spot bullshit from a mile away. It's like a sniff meter. And so can everybody else. So when you're getting on your stories and you're faking you're so happy, like you're faking you love an energized flavor, that is obvious, right? Or you're not as into the workout. Like, I can't dance to save my life. But I sold the shit out of Let's Get Up because I knew it wasn't about me. It was about everyone else that could dance and thought that was amazing, right? And I tried and it was fun. And actually, I'll tell you, Let's Get Up was some of the best cardio I've ever done. I don't know if it was because I was like not even knowing how to dance, but like, your energy is what is being created. And my God, please don't take yourself so seriously. Please. Because I'll tell you why. I lost my mom when I was 11 months old. I've never met her. And she chose to have me over treatment. And here's what I know. I spent a lot of my life grieving. I spent a lot of my life being told that I was too much, too bright, too loud. And if I was better behaved, I'd be easier to love. That is a lot to walk through, and it's a lot to hold. So for a long time, I took myself so seriously because I thought that if I was better behaved, I'd be easier to love. And here's what I've realized. A life wasn't given, and lost for me to play small. A life was not lost for me to play small. You being here right now is a gift. The fact you're on this call is a gift. And it's up to you to figure out what the gift is you need in this. But I'll tell you something. Not only are you living your legacy right now, you're living the entire lineage of your generations before you. And you are undoing years of intergenerational celebration and trauma with your growth. And as you do that, you are giving so many people that you'll never meet in your life permission to do the same. Permission granted by showing up as the version of you you are, unapologetically. I've gone to years of therapy. I highly recommend that. If you feel like you can't get over that, I would highly recommend therapy, talking to a doctor, talking to a professional. Brooke Costello, the Life Coach Podcast School, episode number 1 through 20. I listened to them for 3 years. Your thoughts control your feelings control your actions control your results. Personal development is key in this business. It's going to be key to your leadership. It's going to be key to your human connection, because personal development allows you to connect back to you. And that's why it's called personal development. And then you can move on to your professional development. Then you can move on to your leadership development. But if you do not work on yourself and you do not know who you are and you're navigating that, it's going to be really hard to build the business of your dreams. It's going to be really hard to build the business of your dreams when you are being like the person that told you you'd never be successful. So what story are you telling yourself right now? You get what you celebrate. So I would recommend, and this is one of the things I always think about every step I take, my left foot is planted in gratitude, and my right foot is planted in celebration. Because I'm going to celebrate our team, and I'm going to celebrate the wins we've had, and I'm going to celebrate where we're going, because I want the universe to freaking know that I want more, and that's okay, because I'm not even done yet, and nor are you. You're just getting freaking started. I love the analogy of everyone's on a level. Like I'm on level 4. I'm on level 4.2. I have a lot of knob to turn up till I'm level 9, like 90 years of age, right? Like what level are you turning up right now, guys? Like, and how are you encouraging other people to turn this level up with you? That is human freaking connection. And every day you get a choice to level up into your level. Every day. And every day you get to literally ask people if they want to do that too. So what story are you telling yourself right now? And I know we've all been through a lot. You all have a story like mine, but it's different of what you've endured in your life. And those are our lived experiences. And nobody can take that away from you. I blocked half my family from social media, just so you all know that. Like if you need to be you and you can't be you because your Aunt Sally is telling your mom and Aunt Brenda all the things you're doing, you need to be block right now. Like block, boundary immediately. That's what the block button's for. Because you don't need that type of thing. You're like, I always say, like, the only drama I have time for is in my lashes, like all the dramas. Like, get that out of your life. The more you put into you, the more healing you give yourself permission to do, like the more you'll be you. But you are so blocked because you have a block with your own human connection, and you have a block with your own leadership. And I'll tell you, guys, that is the thing I'm most proud of. I am the most proud of me. Because I had a therapist that once said to me, imagine this, guys, are you ready for this? This gets better and better. he's like, Kim, he's like, with your history, you should be divorced. I don't even know what this means. Bumping Coke. I've never done that before. And sipping Chardonnay in an townhouse with cats. I'm not that. So with my history, I could have gone that route because apparently he sees a lot of those women. Okay. So he's now categorized me into people that have not healed from their trauma. Okay. Like, so I could have been bumping Coke with cats in a townhouse, divorced, or I could be elevated and healing and saying no to things that don't serve me and walking away from people that I don't have space for in my life. You are allowed to put a boundary in. You are allowed to grow. And here's what I'll tell you. The people that don't like the boundaries are the ones that liked the unhealed version of you. So it's time to level up. It's time to step into who you are, because the people that are meant for you, you are attracting at each level that you are. So let's get back to the root of human connection. Let's get back to being real. Let's get back to being relatable. Let's get back to being ourselves. And let's get back to planning our own freaking marketing calendars that set our own souls on fire, that get you out in your inbox, inviting people to what they have to join because it's the bee's knees, right? But if you're not engaged, and if you are not excited, and you are not motivated, and you have this social mask on because the world has literally, like, rip your freaking mask off. I was at a tree trekking yesterday, and this woman had her car window down this much, okay, and had a mask on by herself in her car. I was like, okay, I'm not judging you, but here's what I want to share. I bet that's how you show up in your career. I bet you're so tight-lipped. I bet you're not showing any part of you. You're just masked up, and nobody is going to get to know you when you have your window half cracked, but yet at home, your husband and your kids get the best of you or the last of you. Maybe they get the last of you because you're actually not taking enough care of yourself for them to know who you really are. And that's important to identify. The last thing I'm going to say, oh my God, I still have 2 more pages. I'm going to hurry up. The last thing I'm going to say is when you're vulnerable, you're real, and you don't have to fake anything. So the more vulnerable you are, the more alive you are, the more you schedule joy, the more you think about how can I restore my energy today, right? All those things, the more you will honestly start showing up more as you. So there's 5 things I want to leave you with. So number 1, be authentic and be yourself. Guys, being brave is really, really expensive. Being brave is expensive. It consumes a lot of energy, but so does being a coward. And so does staying complacent. And so does not growing. That's expensive too. So I would choose your expense. Behavior, standards, personal growth. When you're vulnerable, people fall in love with you because you give them permission to laugh and cry and know that they don't have to have it all together because you don't have to have it all together at all times. Number 2, meet people. Get together when you can. Summit is coming. Quarterly events are coming. Diamond retreats, right? That you can earn. Get those. Get in the freaking room. Yes, Sarah. Get in the room, right? So just Moira and Erin Hopkins always says this. This is such a together rising term, but like get in the middle of the bed. Get to know people. Get out there. Number 3, before you can help others feel good, you have to feel good for you. And if you don't feel good right now, I want to encourage you to be brave enough to share that you're not where you want to be yet on your social media. and invite people to come from your bottom base point. Because gosh, I love a transformation. Gosh, I love when someone says I'm struggling, but here's my solution. Who wants to do it too? Number 4, success is all about the consistency of the basics, and you need to master the freaking mundane. Yes, inviting people every day is boring, but it doesn't have to be boring if you actually fall in love with the process of the people you haven't yet met. I'm looking at Jana Berg right now and Shelly Dueck. I remember, Jana, when I went to your page after Shelly was like, I have the best coach that's going to come and join the team. And I got so excited and I messaged her and I was like, oh my gosh, I think she's going to be amazing. Cause your energy and where you want to grow. And I'll tell you, Shelly was so excited. And that's what this business is about. It's about, I was about to swear. I won't do that. It's about freaking loving your people. And hopefully those people love you back. And the ones that don't aren't meant for you on your team. And they're going to be holding grudges and they're going to be scarce and they're going to be pissed and they're going to think you don't do enough. You can't please everybody. So number 4 is success is all about the consistency in the basics. It's mastering the mundane. It's like, know, and trust. And it's loving the freaking people you have and believing in them before you start, believing in them before they start. And number 5, treat people well. Be disciplined. Be a merchant of wow. Under promise and over deliver every freaking day. People want connection and its consistency is the fundamentals. So if you can connect on an emotional level as a human being, you are going to change the trajectory of your life and you will change the trajectory of your business. And I'll tell you this, we are all walking each other home. We are all walking each other home. So you are either going to link arms with the people that are light and want to contribute and want to empower and are abundant, or you're not. But I certainly know who I want to walk home with. And I'm going to get really clear on sharing that often, loudly, and bravely. That's what I have for you guys tonight. I hope that was helpful. There are no slides, but I can send you pictures of my notes. And I appreciate you guys. So go get it. Lead with love and don't ever stop. Oh, thanks, guys.